This presentation is to accompany the book Consumer Behavior, a Primer by Gail. Subliminal perception is perception below conscious awareness. It is the processing of stimuli or information that is presented below the minimum level necessary to activate the senses and lead to awareness. It is below absolute threshold. There is agreement for the existence of subliminal perception, and that subliminal perception is processed differently than supraliminal stimuli, which is stimuli that is above absolute threshold. What is controversial is the topic of subliminal advertising. Questions swirl. Does it exist? Is its existence the result of purposeful marketing strategy formulation, or is it the work of pranksters? Or maybe it's nothing more than consumer projections and interpretations. Does it even work? First, let's take a journey and take a look at some of the so-called evidence offered by those who contend the existence of subliminal advertising. One subliminal technique that has been offered is incongruity. The idea here is that your attention is captured by something that is just not quite right. Let's take a look at some examples. The model has a standard number of 2 legs, but the positioning of the other 2 boots suggests the incongruity of more legs. She only has 2 legs, not 3. My, what big feet you have! The dog has good taste. He selects shoes that match his attire. What are those little boots doing in the corner? Hey, wait a minute. Those shoes have reflections that are different colors from the color of the shoes. Is that a strap or a snake? Is that a pair of 1s on the dice? A pair of 1s is snake eyes. The model is looking at her reflection, but her hand is positioned wrong. This is an ad from Playboy magazine. What are those bulges in the female model's pants? Are those female models? FC UK, French Connection, United Kingdom. Makes you take a second look. In this ad for FC UK, French Connection, United Kingdom, ESX makes you take a second look. It's quite likely that wearing this incongruity will cause people to take a double look at you. Put together the S in the red skittle and the EX in explosion, and what do you get? That's right, even candy promotes sex now. A purported technique of subliminal advertising is the use of suggestiveness. For example, this advertisement suggests that this perfume makes the wearer as irresistible as Eve was to Adam, and results in a bite of the apple. The shapes of the bottle of perfumes are suggestive. A funny way to hold lipstick. This lady's hands has no lines. Is the way she is holding the bottle suggestively, maybe you just have a dirty mind? He sure is happy. He has 2 gorgeous women on each arm. He holds his cigarette funny. Just fishing? Weird positioning of the lady's fingers. Is that sperm in the splashes of water? We magazine is targeted for men. Why is this model on the cover? The model looks like a man in drag. At the very least, this model is under-endowed to be on the cover of a man's magazine. What's going on here? Just adding Tabasco sauce for some heat. What the heck kind of heat is being generated? Do you find the placement of those chili peppers to be a bit odd? The bottle comes bursting through the glasses. Just pouring a glass of whiskey? Or is something else going on here? Subliminal embedding is the technique of adding hidden elements. As a contrast to subliminal embeds, here is an ad that uses supraliminal embeds. We clearly see the 2 figures in the steam of the coffee. The embeds in the foam are obvious. They are supraliminal. Wilson Bryan Key's popular but controversial book, Subliminal Seduction, presents subliminal advertisements that use embeds. In this cover shot are embeds of ghoulish faces in the ice cubes. Also pictured is an embed of an overly endowed little boy. See for yourself and decide. This is from the cover of the book. This is the overly endowed little boy. This too is from the book cover. It shows a ghoulish face embedded in the ice cubes. This ad has ghoulish faces in the ice cubes. A scary face is looking at you. Look in the ice cube. Does that glass of gin have ice cubes that spell sex? Really? Is that what we see? There really is an embed in this ad. The advertisers put it in there on purpose, and it's drawing your attention to it. See? There it is. This French Connection United King advertisement says it is a subliminal experiment. Of course, you're going to look so you can figure out what's subliminal, right? This ad wants you to hunt for the embeds. In this ad for Benson and Hedges cigarettes, the word cancer is etched in the hockey gloves. See for yourself. What do you think? Does that spell cancer? Parquet margarine on bread, sculpted to look like a phallic symbol? Take a close-up look. What do you think? What is the Statue of Liberty holding? This example is offered by Wilson Bryan Keyes to illustrate the use of the subliminal techniques of incongruity, suggestiveness, and embeds. The incongruity, which is likely not noticed immediately, is that the man and the woman have switched the trunks of their bathing suits. The woman is wearing a pair of trunks that has a fly, and the man's trunk does not have a fly. The hands on the woman's legs does not belong to either the man or woman in the ad. The hand belongs to a third person, suggesting a ménage à trois. In the surf is the face of a man blowing into the woman's crotch. Sorry to be so rude and crude. Here, see for yourself. Here is a man in the surf. He is blowing into the lady's crotch. This is a Yellow Page ad in England. The ad is for flooring. This is the ad upside down. This is a close-up of a part of the ad. Oh my God. Subliminal commercials? This advertisement for Sprite is a purposeful subliminal commercial.
Welcome to Subliminal Advertising. Don't worry, it will only affect your brain.
Sprite can keep a body going. Crisp, clean, exuberant.
Diamond.
Tart and tingling.
Embedding lining. Subliminal advertising complete.
Does this commercial have subliminal elements?
Here's the scoop on some subliminal advertising. If you missed the surprise in the ice cream, get your mind in the gutter and take another look.
Subliminals in the movies? In the Disney movie, the Lion King sighs and the stars spell out sex. Really? The cover of Disney's The Little Mermaid shows something somewhat phallic hidden in the castle. Really? In the Disney movie, The Little Mermaid, the preacher performing the ceremony becomes aroused. Really? Disney's Jessica Rabbit is X-rated. This is from Disney's The Rescuers. What's that in the window? Subliminals in political ads. The George W. Bush presidential campaign used subliminal elements. This ad, produced by the Republican National Committee, shows the rats in the Gore bureaucrats.
Under Clinton-Gore, prescription drug prices have skyrocketed, and nothing's been done. George Bush has a plan. Add a prescription drug benefit to Medicare.
Every senior will have access to prescription drug benefits.
And Al Gore? Gore opposed bipartisan reform. He's pushing a big government plan that lets Washington bureaucrats interfere with what your doctors prescribe. The Gore prescription plan, bureaucrats decide. The Bush prescription plan, seniors choose.
Subliminals in music? Did this heavy metal band, Judas Priest, repeat the subliminal message, "Do it, do it, do it," throughout their song, Stained Class? Did the hidden message lead these two young men to attempt suicide? That is what the one surviving person claimed. The resulting court case drew heavy media attention. The courts ruled in favor of the musicians. Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven, played backwards, reveals subliminal messages. Here, listen for yourself. First we'll hear it played forwards, and then we'll hear it played backwards.
If there's a bustle in your hedgerow, don't be alone there. It's just a sprinkling for the May Queen. Yes, there are two paths you can go by, but in the long run, there's still time to change the road you're on.
Subliminal perception is the subject of academic research. This illustration is used in the control condition of an experiment on subliminal perception. And this is the illustration used in the experimental condition. Here are the two illustrations side by side. See the embed? See it now? Unawareness is not the same thing as subliminal, but the two concepts have a bit of overlap. Let's take a look at an example of research involving unawareness. In this experiment, participants walk down the hall to the room where the experiment is held. This is the task for the experiment. As you can see, it is not a particularly tough task. When the participants have completed the task, they are thanked for their participation, and they leave and walk down the hall and exit the building. If you look at the sentences from the task, you see that there are words communicating being old. Florida is well known as a state where elderly retire. Old, gray, wrinkle are descriptors of old people. Old people play bingo. Unbeknownst to the participants, the experimenters measure the speed of the participants' pace when they walked to the experiment and when they left the experiment. They found that the participants walked significantly more slowly when exiting than when arriving to the experiment. The researchers surmised that the words communicating being old primed the participants and resulted in their slower pace. The participants, of course, were unaware of the primes or their slower pace.